Said I didn't recognize this team, but in shoot around they had a great walkthrough, so we'll see if they can carry over some energy and focus for tonight. Virginia Tech starting off with the ball in their garnet uniforms. And right away,
you know they're trying to establish Kitley early. North Carolina definitely paying attention to her in the paint.
Looking at UNC's starting lineup, Carly Littlefield, will see her in this game. Was under Coach Banghart at Princeton. We already mentioned Deja Kelly coming off the top, and Usby has 7 double-doubles on the season as there's a foul called on the wing for Carolina. That one's going to go against Anya Poole.
Yeah, one of the things she mentioned is she did not want to start with foul trouble at all. Being able to keep her players out there on the court.
You're looking at the starting lineup for Virginia Tech. Asia Shepherd, mentioned, can light it up from outside, and Georgia Amore, the Australian, going to work and actually is on the board first for the Hokies.
That's a great sign for Coach Brooks, being aggressive here. He's going to need her to be successful to get this win here.
Deja Kelly responds right away.
That mid-range jumper is nice. I like that.
I won't say it rivals yours, Chelsea, because we know that you do a lot of damage in that mid-range area, but Deja Kelly has shown this league how impressive she can be on the offensive end. Actually tied for 3rd in scoring in the ACC. You can see her averages so far in this season, but she's made a lot of noise going back to this beautiful jump shot.
Yeah, just right off the screen, great separation, able to rise over the defense. You know, whenever you get the ball into the elbow areas, it puts a lot of pressure on your defense, whether you come from the backside and help right there in the tunnel, or if you step up as a post player. So good read by Deja Kelly coming off that screen.
So you can see how the influence for Virginia Tech, seeing if they can get Kitley. A lot of the double team and a lot of attention going there. Short shot clock, 5. They're going to have to heave it, and they do. Kayla King with the bucket.
But already, I like the intensity by North Carolina. They look a little bit more agile and ready to play and down in a stance, and that's what Coach Banghart was looking for from her group coming out the gate.
She told us earlier the sense of urgency, focus, and pace is what she was looking for coming into this game. And so far, we're seeing it. That rebound goes to Kitley as they push in transition. So we've talked to Coach Brooks, and he mentioned just the similar styles as far as pushing pace and transition. So understanding what this is going to look like, as that's a shot no good from the outside. But we'll see what team can actually control the pace right out of the gate. And so far, Carolina showing us they can get a little things done. Anya Poole with a nice back door.
Yeah, you're not going to see a bunch of play calls and half-court sets run unless they really need to. They really rely on their players to make good reads and good sound decisions, as that's a nice pass to the corner there as that defense collapsed.
And left Asia Shepherd all alone. Fortunately, she misses it. She's shooting about 40% from the three-point line, and that's a charge.
I don't know about that one, Angel. It looked like she was moving a little bit to the side right there.
Kennedy Todd Williams gets called for the foul. Excuse me.
What are we calling there? What are we calling there, Angel?
Well, you know what? Fortunately, it's a game of if they miss something on one end, they'll probably make up for it on the other end. Thought she was moving there, but either way, Virginia Tech with the ball at the top of the key. We're stuck at 4-all.
I know for me, I'll be running down the court like, you owe me one, ref. You owe me one.
Well, that's a relationship that you have to build with the officials as time goes on. And you know very well how important that is in your career, not just collegiately, but professionally as well. A lot of action on the inside and an interior pass. And that's actually going to be another bucket by Poole. That's back-to-back buckets by Anya.
Both of her buckets has happened with Virginia Tech collapsing in the paint as post-ups are occurring, and just a nice dive on the backside and have easy scores.
And a turnover for Virginia Tech, trying to get the ball inside to Kitley. Usby trying to work her way in on the outside. Littlefield can't connect, and that rebound is going to go down to Kitley. Going to the bucket, that can't fall. Seeing a lot of aggression and pressure on the perimeter. Deja Kelly trying to get a shot off. Short. And Traylor with the rebound.
In these moments, I think this is one of those times where you have to get a good set and a good basket here.
Look at the hustle by Littlefield, creating some second chance opportunities for a team, and Hodgson will be able to step up to the free throw line for two. What an unbelievable hustle play by Carly Littlefield.
Yeah, just getting in the passing lane. The aggressive one is going to win the battle. She's first to the floor, diving for it, able to give her team an opportunity to possibly get an and one. Hopefully she's able to knock down these two free throws.
You can see the pat on the back. Coach Banghart mentioned how they spent some time together at Princeton. Now the grad transfer here at North Carolina knows all too well Courtney Banghart and her style of play, who has been phenomenal for Carolina in her 3 seasons, as she's continuing to bring the recruits she needs for this program, the transfers and grad transfers, as well as Hodgson is one of them from William and Mary, and knocks them both down.
Yeah, she talked about that, and having players in her program and trusting and having them commit and being committed to the program and the legacy that she wants to build here at Carolina. So good sign for her and her team, really trusting her in that aspect.
So Carolina off to a good start, up 4 as we're approaching the halfway mark of the first quarter. Short shot clock again for Virginia Tech. Traylor around. Kitley has to let it go, and she does.
Good to have a player like Kitley on your team when you need a bucket in the last second. She's able to knock down the fadeaway jumper.
Well, Coach called her a walking bucket, and she's shown not just her team, but the rest of the ACC and nationally that she is just that, a walking bucket. Waite Trophy nominee on that midseason top 25 list. Usby from the outside, and that's a bit long. So Amor, Baines, King, Traylor, and Kitley on the floor for Virginia Tech. Traylor trying to work her way into the paint, going right at Usby. Can't get anything to fall there.
This is where you get a little bit concerned there. Have a free flow in transition. You don't want to get them too many opportunities there.
Might have been some contact, no foul called on the play, so Virginia Tech plays on. Traylor doesn't like what she sees and pulls it out. We'll see a reset from Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech still trying to work themselves into that execution of a play. And Georgia Amor dishes it off to King, who is a little hard on the shot. So in transition, that's what we're going to see from both teams. North Carolina pushing it, but haven't been able to connect in transition. King on the outside. Finds Kitley. She has about 4 North Carolina jerseys around her, and it doesn't matter. She knocks it down. And that's going to be her 6th point. 4 points, and sorry, Hodgson actually responds with a bucket of her own. 3-point lead for North Carolina.
That's a good sign, being able to knock down some open jumpers. See the ball go through the net early. I know they struggled in their last game, knocking some easy jumpers down, especially in transition, and it led to NC State being able to go in transition of their own.
And once again, Kitley responds and makes this a 1-point game. Hodgson saw a lane, decided to take it. It's going to be a foul. It's going to be called on the floor. So far, we got a pretty good one. Virginia Tech slowly creeping back in. Carolina with a 1-point lead. but they definitely have the attention of everyone around the league. And here's why. Their record so far, 11-3, 3-0 in ACC play. And here's one that stands out, 5 straight ACC road wins. That's a program record. They're looking for their 6th straight here in Chapel Hill. And on the other side for North Carolina, losing their first game of the season just the other night against NC State. But 13 wins already in the season. Last year, they had 13 wins overall. They had an amazing finish that led them to the NCAA tournament. But this is a team that's trying to find a way to get back on track. They lead the nation in scoring margin and trying to find some ways to build on their identity, Chelsea, as you were mentioning to Coach Banghart earlier about what that pace looks like for them as they continue in the season.
Yeah, they're a connected group, and their pace of play on both ends of the floor is a key ingredient to their success. And she really didn't recognize her team versus NC State. And sometimes a loss, you know, you kind of regroup and refocus and, you know, get back to what you're great at.
And Deja Kelly, just a bit short in transition off the right side for the layup. And Virginia Tech trying to see if they can take the lead here with the bucket. So UNC leads the all-time series 20-10, but in the 6 years that Coach Brooks has been there, he's gone 6-2. UNC won the last matchup last season by 5, so they're trying to see if they can answer that with a win here tonight. That shot too hard for Shepherd. And Littlefield comes out of the pack with the ball. Deja Kelly drains the 3.
They're not going to be shy about shooting those threes in transition, Angel. That's a great one you have from the three-point arc, getting that one up.
As we mentioned, Deja Kelly tied for 3rd in scoring in the ACC. You got to know where she is on the floor at all times. Leads UNC in scoring as well as the Tar Heels force a turnover for the Hokies.
Just right in the slot. Way to relax and wait for everybody to trail in spot. I love that type of three-point. Everybody sucked into the paint, looking at cutters coming to the paint, and she's able to knock it down.
What's very interesting, too, is Coach Banghart mentioned just the difference in Kelly's play from last year to this year, and the pace is a huge piece of it, and knowing when and where to score as Littlefield knocks down the 2.
Yeah, right into that elbow jumper again.
So less than a minute left in this first quarter. And a little bit more from Tech's offense. Kitley sitting at 6 points. Hodgson working her way in the offense. Actually is going to draw a foul. We got 11.7 left in the quarter. So that foul is going to go against Lytle. That's going to be her first foul. So a quick toss out from Littlefield. Short. Deja Kelly rises up. Can't get that one to fall, but Kitley with the rebound, and they have about 2 seconds left. That she's going to try and heave it full court, and Virginia Tech can't get that one to go. So Carolina with a 6-point lead, but we have a great feature coming up about Raven Kitley coming up right after the break.
Is arguably our #1 fan.
I think she has Hokies women's basketball's post notifications turned on, because as soon as they post, Raven has a reply within like 5 seconds.
She comments within seconds, and it's like, I think it's really cute because she is really dedicated to this program.
And there you see the super fan Raven Kitley that's in attendance as well. Who wouldn't want a super fan, nonetheless a sister that is just so supportive. The family is always there, but also just how they welcome her. And on the autism night, they actually rewarded her with a ball And you can see her there with Coach Brooks. And the support that they give her, and it's definitely reciprocated. It's so awesome to see that. Coach Brooks said that was one of his favorite nights of the season so far, and they are in attendance. They have missed only 4 games, her father and mother included, and those 4 were actually overseas. So the support from the Kitley family is so incredible. You can see her mom there as well. Socially distancing, but nonetheless at the game supporting their amazing daughter, Elizabeth Kitley.
Yeah, a very special moment to be able to look in the stands and see family, and very supportive. I know when I was playing and I look up in the stands, it gives you that big juice and that big energy to be able to play, and you're playing for more than, you know, just yourself out there.
All right, Mom Lavetta, Dad is Ralph, and obviously we featured the amazing Raven, super fan for the Hokies. So Deja Kelly knocks down the free throws, gives her team the 8-point lead to start off the second quarter. King from deep and hasn't gotten one to fall. She only has 2 points on the night, 0 for 1 from the 3. And that's where she's pretty lethal from the outside. Kitley wanted that to go the other way, but it's actually going to stay underneath with Carolina. And maybe that's going to be reversed. So Kitley gets a nice reward there, and that's going to be reversed. So Virginia Tech with the ball.
Yeah, not giving up on the play, just keeping hands in there at all times.
You can see the amount of attention Kitley is drawing on the inside. You see somewhat of a zone from UNC. That's somewhat disrupting and slowing down the Hokies offense. 10 on the shot clock. And a beautiful shot by Asia Shepherd.
You know, one of the advantages of Kitley drawing so much attention, they're having a hard time closing out on the backside and just being able to penetrate those closeouts.
And the quick response once again, that one's gonna go to Alyssa Usby. But trading buckets is something that Virginia Tech doesn't want to do, as their primary scorers are limited at this point. You can see the amount of attention underneath for Kitley. Gregg trying to see if she can get something going offensively, but that's a turnover.
Nice dime there that she's penetrating the lane, getting into the paint, collapsing the defense. Help comes and just a nice drop off.
Anya Poole with the bucket from Littlefield. 8-point lead for Carolina. Another take by Alyssa Usby.
Yeah, and you're seeing a lot of straight line drives. If I'm Virginia Tech and I'm in that huddle, you want to make their guards go east and west. They're having an easier time getting straight into the paint.
Shepherd somewhat struggling from the field on the night so far. She's 1 for 5, 0 for 4 from the 3. We mentioned how good she is from distance. As Deja Kelly can't connect, but right now, Traylor sitting at 0 points. Kitley with 6 leading Virginia Tech, but Amore as well as Shepherd sitting on 2. So offensively, the Hokies trying to figure things out. Chelsea, Coach Brooks mentioned too, they had the week off because of a postponed game against Virginia. He said, we're gonna see a team that hopefully is just shaking off the rust, but we understand the assignment essentially and understand how we need to score. What are you seeing so far from them in this start?
Yeah, I'm seeing that they're trying to, you know, manufacture sometimes in moments. They're always ready for the double team by Kitley as she drives for the basket, and that's a good sign for UNC for her to have the ball going to the basket. But you always want Virginia Tech to be able to penetrate the lane with Kitley being doubled. So talk it over in the huddle and hopefully come back with a great possession here.
Tar Heels with a 12-point lead over the Hokies at this point. They went on a 6-0 run right before the break, and here's the game summary. It looks a lot like Kitley is taking over for Virginia Tech, but she's been sitting on 6 points for a while now. So for Carolina, they're getting things done in the paint. Chelsea, what are some other things that stand out to you?
I think you got to find a way to get her some touches, but she's staying right there at the block, and I know Coach Brooks talked about different looks of having to get her on the move, and right now she's just stationary and allowing UNC to really load up as she is able to draw the charge there in the paint.
So Emily Lytle called for the charge. Hodgson draws it. And so Carolina now with the ball.
I love charges, Angel. It's a momentum changer.
So you love charges, you love trail threes. Is there anything else you'd like to see in this game, Chelsea?
Well, I need Kelly to get some more touches down there in the paint for Virginia Tech.
She's been sitting on 6 points since the midway point of the first quarter, and we've seen how the Tar Heels defense, and they've switched it up quite a bit. That's what we heard from Coach Banghart too. She said, we don't have someone that can guard Kitley one-on-one, but they've done some different things to see if they can contain her. And right now they're just forcing the Hokies into turnovers. Deja Kelly for another trail three.
Same spot, same result.
Deja Kelly leads all players in points at this point. 10 points, 2 for 3 from the three.
Kitley finally able to get in touch, and seemed like she rushed that one because she hadn't touched the rock in a little bit of time. So trying to find ways in order to put her in good positions to be successful.
How about the ball movement for Carolina? Next pass, as Coach Banghart said, I wanted to see more ball movement. That's the lesson that we saw in the last game. How do we continue to play for one another? No one-on-one. That's not when we're at our best. So far, Chelsea, it seems like her team has responded to that challenge. Hodgson all the way on the inside, but that one is actually going to be called a charge. She's going to pick up the foul there. As she touches her chest like, my bad.
Great help side defense by Little. Being able to come in once she's going down paint, it would have been hard to stop her momentum and make that pass out.
Well, Carolina right now in the driver's seat with the 15-point lead. It's the biggest lead of the game. Kitley turns down the three-pointer. Coach said he wants to see more attempts from her as she shoots them in practice. That's going to be called a foul as Kayla King gets the O board. The Hokies will get it out underneath. Kitley right away demanding the ball on the inside and is going to bounce past it right out of bounds. So a lot of attention. She's still working on ways to get going offensively, which has been a tough one for her so far tonight.
Yeah, every time she's catching the basketball on the block, she's seeing bodies, whether it's 2 people or if it's 3 people, they're coming as soon as she's catching the ball and making her have to make a quick decision.
Just as a reminder, Elizabeth Kitley is averaging a double-double in ACC play. In their last game, she actually had 13 points and 18 rebounds. So for her to be sitting at the 6-point mark and 6 rebounds, we'll see if she can get things going rather quickly. Toss out to Lytle is long. Littlefield trailing, passes it off. Carolina right now shooting 42% from the 3 for 7. We already saw Kelly knock down 2. And this is an important series and possession for Virginia Tech, and they just end up coughing it up. 10 turnovers for the Hokies, and Carolina capitalizing off of them.
And we never want to allow Carolina to really get going in transition. With these turnovers, you're allowing them to get in transition for threes. You're allowing them to get in transition for free throw attempts. And That's not a recipe for success for Virginia Tech.
And to your point, the points off of turnovers. Carolina has 11 points off of the 10 turnovers by the Hokies. So that's definitely something that's going to be addressed, I'm sure, at halftime for Coach Brooks. So Coach Brooks taking some time with his sophomore standout, Georgia Amor, Ballarat, Australia. Emily Lytle steps up to the free throw line, shooting 77% from the free throw line and misses the first of the two. All right, well, every Thursday at 10 Eastern, right after our women's basketball doubleheader, the Nothing But Net crew will break down the night in the ACC with highlights and analysis of every women's game and look ahead at the best games on the schedule in the coming week. That's insight you can only get one place right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. Chelsea, I see you with the jacket down there. You look a little fly.
I look a little bit. I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, okay, let's put this together real quick. And so let's take a picture. So that's the one they chose.
Running the runway. We'll have to see if we can get the tunnel for all the talent for ACC Network.
ACC Nothing But Net tunnel picks coming your way.
Hodgson knocks down another three-pointer for the Tar Heels. And they're 19 points up over the Hokies. Virginia Tech still struggling from outside. They're shooting 28% from the field. Deja Kelly working her way all the way to the paint, short.
Remember, Angel, I talked about being able to have a pace and kind of a clock inside your mind of when to push the ball and win a setback and call a set. And so you're seeing a set ran by Virginia Tech, hopefully to give Kitley a touch or something in the paint.
All of her touches have been very hard for her to get. This is a third opportunity on the glass. Now coming forward, Kitley working hard, but actually will be going to the free throw line as Hodgson picks up another foul. So that's the second personal foul against Hodgson. And she'll take a trip to the bench. And Elizabeth Kitley will have to earn them from the stripe. As she's still at 6 points, knocks down the first of two. You can see there just her resume for the season. Field goal percent 55%. Free throws 87%, but Chelsea, to start the season, she was not doing too well from the free throw line, and Coach Brooks actually stepped aside with her and said, we're going to make this a little bit easier for you, has a quicker release from the free throw line, and it's been lights out since then, shooting 80% in ACC play from the free throw line.
Yeah, free throws a lot of the time is all about repetition and doing the same routine every single time, having the same flow, and you step up to that line with confidence. And so kudos to Coach Brooks for having that conversation and seeing a little minor adjustment that he can make to make her a little bit more efficient from the free throw line.
Especially understanding when your star player is struggling from the free throw line, that's something that they can do, foul and put you at the free throw line to be less efficient, but she has definitely been night and day from the free throw line in ACC play.
Yeah, and it's a key component. Those are free throws. Those are free points. Give me all the free throw. Give me all the free points you can.
So Carolina more aggressive we're seeing so far in this first half. Coach Banghart mentioned just the lack of offense that they saw against NC State. She said, I don't want to take anything from NC State. They're very good. They're ranked number 5 for a reason. But the lack of aggression from her team is something that she was not expecting, as that's a turnover from Littlefield underneath. See if Virginia Tech can capitalize. That one's up by Georgia Amor and doesn't go. Tough night so far for Amor. 1 for 3 from the field. Less than 90 seconds left in the first half. A lot of ball movement from UNC, and that's what you get when you move the ball.
Coach Banghart was looking for some ball movement. She got it, cashed in from the corner. This Carolina team extremely hard to guard when they're able to move the basketball, penetrate, kick, play off of each other a little bit more, and you're seeing that right here.
It's been all Carolina in this first half. Kitley is having a rough first one, as the Tar Heels have thrown everything in the kitchen sink at her defensively. She's sitting at 8 points, 3 for 7 from the field. And Carolina slowing things down quite a bit. Deja Kelly at the top of the key asks for the screen. And that's actually going to go the other way. Foul at the top of the key. So the Hokies will get the last possession, barring there are no turnovers, of this half. And it seems like they've been trying to find ways to get Kitley the ball, but we mentioned and highlighted off the top just the big three and what that looks like for Amor. She's coming down with the ball, 15 left on the game clock. What do we want to see from Virginia Tech to close this one out?
Possession of passing the ball in Kitley's hands and being able to get inside the paint, but Carolina doing an amazing job loading up on that baseline, and Littlefield able to come over and get a charge.
So the drive by Kitley, and Littlefield sacrificing her body on the baseline. So actually North Carolina will hit the ball back for the last play of the game. The last second heave is short. But Carolina 35-17 up.
And really going into this locker room, and find Coach Brooks, I'm talking to my team like, hey, be calm, cool, and collected. We're down 18 at the half, but you know, they didn't play their best basketball, had some turnovers that allowed North Carolina to get in transition and get easy buckets, whether that's coming from in the paint or kicking out for threes or getting to the free throw line. And if I'm Carolina, I'm doing the same thing in the second half and really trusting the ball and moving the ball side to side and getting to the paint and kicking out to shooters and doing well defensively.
Well, it's been all Tar Heels. Deja Kelly leading the way with 10 points. Littlefield showing the way too. Usby with 5 for North Carolina. 35-17 is their lead going in. Drew Carter and Kelly Gramlich. I know they'll break it down in the studio. You guys, all yours. Tar Heels in the driver's seat, 35-17 over the Hokies at half. And Chelsea, we know to score, you need to have the ball in the first half. The Hokies struggled to do so.
Yeah, turnovers are not Virginia Tech's friend right now. UNC has been able to capitalize on their turnovers on all 3 levels, getting into the paint and kicking out for trail threes, driving the lane for layups, getting to the free throw line. They've been able to draw charges, which are definitely momentum builders, and I know that's what Virginia Tech has been talking about in the locker room at halftime.
Well, how about Deja Kelly? She's had a combined 52 points in the last 2 games. I don't think there's any signs of her slowing down.
Yeah, and you really love her aggressiveness in that first half, getting into the elbows, hitting those trail threes, and overall, I love that aggressiveness, and that's what Coach Banghart wanted to see from her group. Very, very aggressive on offense and defense, and as you see that game summary there, and Elizabeth Kitley only 8 points, still rebounding the basketball for Tech, but struggling a little bit to get some touches and get some easy looks.
How about the three-point line, though, Chelsea? Virginia Tech 0 for 10 from distance.
Yeah, and that's a big part of their game, being able to go in transition, very fluid, kick out for threes. If there's a double team coming, hitting the backside and getting those wide open threes in the corners and in the wings, and haven't been able to get those looks in the first half.
Oh, Hodgson and Kelly both finished with 10 points in the first half. Deja Kelly actually tied her career high in rebounds as well. She has 7, so she's hunting that double-double for the night. But on the other side, the big answer is how will they respond? How will Virginia Tech get Kitley more involved? She had her last bucket in the first quarter at the 2-minute mark. The second quarter, she only had 2 points. She's 3 for 7 from the field. The rest of the team, 4 for 21. Has to be done by committee for the Hokies. How do they start things in the second half?
Just being able to pass the ball and get easy looks, maybe some high-low action kicking out for shooters. That I think it'll be a good sign for Virginia Tech to get a 3 to go down or a nice, easy jumper by Kitley.
On the floor, they start with their same starters. Kitley trying to see if she can get things going. 4 bodies around her in the paint. Less than 3 on the shot clock. They'll have a last-second heave, and that misses everything. And Kayla King struggling from distance as well.
Yeah, you saw that they tried to go high-low into Kitley and just struggling there with a lot of bodies. You see all eyes on Kitley as she has the ball in the paint and struggling to get it out, and not a clean look for Virginia Tech at that first possession.
Well, the Hokies get it back off of this turnover. King with the ball in the corner. She's working the baseline. Amor turns down the shot, finds Traylor. And they'll reset with 15. A nice take to the bucket by Amor. That's everything that the Hokies wanted to see. Now she's at 4 points.
Hopefully that gets her going a little bit. I know as a guard, it's good to go downhill, get an easy bucket, whether it's going to the free throw line, an easy layup, and that's a good sign for Virginia Tech if you're seeing her going to the bucket and being aggressive early.
They're trying to do a little bit better offensively, shooting 26% from the field to this point. We already mentioned their woes from behind the arc. 5 seconds left on the shot clock, and that's a nice one by Poole.
Nice touch around the rim. She stayed with the play, didn't get the first one to go down, but able to have a nice hook in the middle of the lane.
And speaking with Coach Brooks, too, you can see the zone that they're playing right now for Carolina. Chelsea, he said, I had to learn last year how other teams were doubling Kitley and how that was supposed to be better for us as she misses point-blank range on the left side of the rim. But Coach Brooks said, I had to do better with setting everybody else up to be productive around the rim. That came with their shooters, and right now, if they don't make buckets, it doesn't help them.
Yeah, she's able to get an easy score down low. It's all about playing off of each other, and they're learning that now, and now she's not even seeing a double team. She's seeing 3 and 4 people surrounding her at all points.
Deja Kelly strips King at the top of the key. Littlefield.
A lot of charges happening in this game, Angel.
You know, I was one of those players that like to take charges, so this is my type of game. You said you like charges as well. Littlefield right here, a little bit too aggressive getting to the paint as Georgia Amor steps in, sacrifices her body at the top of the key.
Still time in this game for Virginia Tech. They have to put together some possessions where, you know, they get some easy scores and get some stops.
As you mentioned, they only had 7 points in the second quarter. I'm pretty sure that Coach Brooks tried to find some ways to enhance offensively, and Kitley knocking that one down is a good sign.
The difference in that possession is that she started on a different side of the paint, and she came over, getting her on the move and not playing against Carolina's set defense so they can load up on her on the backside.
And with that bucket, Kitley is now in double figures, 4 for 9 from the field. And those 10 points have come not too easy. She's got the one-on-one in the paint. Swarmed right away. She'll dish it out to Shepherd. She continues to struggle from outside, 0 for 5.
She's handling the double and the triple teams quite well, actually. You know, just haven't had an opportunity for them to knock down those 3-pointers.
And Alyssa Usby on the other end, 7 points for her. She's been really consistent for this team. We already mentioned her that 7 double-doubles on the season so far. She's been super consistent for Coach Banghart and the Tar Heels. 20-point lead for North Carolina, and a beautiful pass on the inside. How about the emotion?
I love it. I love it. She understands the stakes of this game. coming after a bad loss at NC State. And great aggressiveness here by Deja Kelly. You love to see it. I know they're thinking 0-0 coming into this second half. Welcome back, and Elizabeth Kitley not able to get clean looks at the basket. You see a high-low pass there, but you're seeing 4 bodies paying attention to her, having to pass it out. Another one here, getting into the paint, having to dribble out, passing to the corner. And then you see here, she's still getting the touches inside, but able to finesse her way with a fadeaway jumper. Both of those plays, she's able to get, you know, good looks at the basket right over the top. So struggling a little bit here to get clean looks.
10 points so far for Elizabeth Kitley, 4 for 10 from the field. And the rest of the team, well, you're looking at it. 11 points for them, 5 for 25. So as I mentioned earlier, Chelsea, how everyone else has to step up to free Kitley on the inside.
And she's been able to kick out for a couple of times for shooters and not able to knock down those jumpers. And as you know, once you're able to kick out and knock down those jumpers, you know, as things start to open up for Kitley, but the guards and, you know, going to have to start knocking down those jumpers.
0 for 14 from the 3. And coming into this game, NC State and Virginia Tech were tied for 8th nationally with 132 three-pointers. And so when we mentioned the 3-ball is something that they thrived on but are struggling with tonight, we were not exaggerating. Littlefield dishes it off to Usby. She can't connect there, and that's going to be corralled in by Kitley.
Another opportunity.
Kitley, a quiet double-double for her, so she's picked up her 4th double-double in ACC play. The baseline shot short.
I like that play, though. I like that play call by Coach Brooks, being able to get Kitley the ball in the short corner. In a different look, and Carolina didn't have an answer of how they wanted to double team her in that possession.
And so the aggression continues for Carolina. Littlefield will be able to step up to the free throw line. Not much has changed from the first half. North Carolina in that driver's seat, looking to close this one out. Well, Virginia Tech continues to struggle from the field in the third quarter. They missed the last 5 shots. They're only shooting 2 for 10 in the last few minutes of this quarter. Right now, North Carolina on an 8-2 run. But they've put a series and a flurry of runs together coming right out of the gate with a lot of energy. Well, here's our Wednesday night ACC doubleheader. Palo Bancaro and number 2 Duke are in Winston-Salem squaring off against Alondis Williams and Wake Forest at 7 Eastern, followed by Malik Williams in Louisville, hosting De'Aaron Sebron, who's averaging a double-double, and the Wolfpack. Both games are right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app, one tap. How about Duke? In the previous game, they had down the wire Miami getting their 8th straight win against Duke. Number 2 in the nation, so Duke on fire at this point in the ACC.
Yeah, tough loss for them. I know they wanted to protect their home floor last night.
Chelsea, and I didn't mean it as a slight. I just was saying, you know, Duke with a tough loss, number 2 in the nation still.
Yeah, it happens, you know. Basketball's a game of wins and losses, and, you know, they'll be back.
And I know it's not very often that you see this lighter blue for yourself, as well as Carolina continues to just make it rain from outside. Hodgson lighting it up. So Hodgson 3 for 3 from distance. She has 13 points. To lead the Tar Heels, Virginia Tech struggling to get things going.
Swarming defense by North Carolina, no matter who drives into the paint.
And Todd Williams, the coach called Scottie Pippen for her team, has been unbelievable all season. pretty much an unsung hero for this squad. As Hodgson dials it up again.
When it rains, it pours, Angel. They've been able to get to the paint, kick out for threes, and that's a good sign for North Carolina.
4 for 4 from distance. Hodgson lighting it up from outside. Keeps it going.
North Carolina on a 12-0 run right now.
Well, Carolina leading the nation in scoring margin right now, up 30 points over Virginia Tech. He's on a 4-game winning streak, 3-0 in ACC play, and right now, Ava Hodgson is saying, I'm putting a stop to that, because Virginia Tech came in with a hot streak, but Hodgson putting up a bit of a hot streak of her own tonight.
You know, coming to this game, Virginia Tech talked about North Carolina swarming defense and how Kitley was going to see a couple of different looks to be able to stop her. But I was not expecting this 30-point lead, not even into the fourth quarter. I don't know about you, Angel.
Well, it comes down to the defensive end, too, for Virginia Tech, Chelsea. When you're struggling from the offensive side, you don't want your defense to suffer as well. And Coach Brooks was talking about, yes, them having too much time off, and he said keeping them sharp, keeping them fresh, and shaking the rust off. But he also mentioned that type of defense that he wanted from his squad. He mentioned said it was a lot like Jurassic Park, where the Velociraptor has to hunt you into the shot that you want to take, but it's been everything but that for Virginia Tech tonight, because UNC is on a tear, shooting 58% from the field goal, from the field, and then also 50% from three.
Yeah, and it doesn't help when you turn over the ball 16 times. That leads to 16 points for the Tar Heels, and that you can't really get a rhythm in that way.
Deja Kelly fouls it up. Poole with the rebound. Poole for another 2.
Right now, you're just seeing North Carolina just out-hustling Virginia Tech on both ends of the floor.
Poole with 10 points. Very efficient from the field, 5 for 6 from the floor. Virginia Tech trying to get things going on the floor. And Lytle can't get the first one to go. Poole a little frustrated with the foul there, as Carolina will step up to the free throw line.
You love that if you're a player, you know, you're up 30 plus and you're still mad at yourself for not getting the little job done, and little things make the big things happen. So good sign if I'm Coach Banghart.
Couple substitutions for Carolina. All right, well, every Thursday at 10 Eastern, right after our women's basketball doubleheader, the Nothing But Net crew will break down the night in the ACC with highlights and analysis of every women's game and look ahead at the best games on the schedule in the coming week. That's insight you can only get one place, right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. As we mentioned before, Chelsea Gray at the bottom with the drip. Got Coach McGraw down there. We got a squad goals in the crew, the Nothing But Net crew.
Nothing but net tunnel fist. Catch Coach McGraw with her tunnel fist at some point there.
Are you helping her with her fits, or are we going to see a couple
that's
of
all her.
stars?
That's all her.
Okay, got it. I'm really looking forward to it. If I can just be a judge on this panel, that would be nice.
I got you. I'll FaceTime you in.
Todd Williams dials it up from outside, and that's a rare miss from the outside for Carolina. As we're approaching the 1-minute mark here in the third quarter, Littlefield dishes it off and can't get that one to go as Alyssa Utsby works the baseline. So Lytle picks up her 3rd personal foul. And not many players in foul trouble to this point. Poole with 4 for UNC, and you saw her take a trip to the bench. And that'll be a turnover for Carolina. Chelsea, it's very interesting. Sometimes, and you mentioned this on the call as well, just the importance of the bounce back and not worrying too much about the previous game if you're in Carolina's shoes, but how you step up, put that in the past, and move to the next assignment. And Carolina's ability to do so, how would you grade it to this point?
Yeah, I graded pretty much at an A here. Even coming into the second half, they treated it as if it's 0-0 and wanted to keep up the intensity on both ends and staying with the game plan. And you can really see that it was a focus for them of how they wanted to guard Killy and play out of that. Force other people to do other things and force people into the uncomfortable, and they've been successful thus far.
Carolina had their lowest season-ending score, scoring below 50 for the first time against NC State in that previous game. It's a little bit different for this one, 53-28. Carolina entering the fourth. Check the weather forecast for Chapel Hill, but I'm assuming that it said cloudy with a chance of rain. Raining threes, that is, Chelsea Gray.
Yeah, they've been able to move the ball, playing inside out, executing their game plan of wanting to play off of each other. And this Carolina offense has been prolific in both halves of this game, and just special players being able to come back after a tough loss, and the rim is looking a little bit bigger and knocking down easy threes.
Carolina shooting 50% from distance. Heard from our amazing producer as well. Katie said it is actually raining here. So maybe the forecast was right. So Carolina just stepping up and knocking down shots.
But also part of that, they've been able to get in transition, and you know, once you turn over the ball for Virginia Tech, a lot of the times it's 5-on-4, 4-on-3, and they've been trailing the play and having trail-in threes. Deja Kelly's hit one and allowing them to get easy opportunities.
Very interesting, too. Coach Banghart told us, I'm looking for who's going to be my Steph Curry tonight for knocking down threes, and she's got 3 of them, just knocking them down.
I think she definitely spoke that into existence here.
Hodgson putting her name in contention for that challenge, 4 for 4. But on the other side, Virginia Tech saying they're going to line it up too. Better late than never.
Bank's open. Is it open on, you know, Sunday on your end, Angels? I don't know if she called that one.
Not my bank. I don't know. We'll see. Not the ones I've been to. Shepherd wanted the block on the baseline against Hodgson as she was attacking to the right. And instead, that's going to be a foul. That's her second team foul as well in this half. Hodgson was up into the free throw line, shooting close to 80% from the free throw line. One of the team captains as well. All right, well, here's Thursday night's ACC Network Women's College Basketball doubleheader at 6 Eastern. Kara Lawson and number 17 Duke hosts Virginia Tech, led by center Elizabeth Kitley, who's averaging almost 20 points per game. Then Florida State squares off against Nell Fortner, number 16 Georgia Tech. You can always watch both games live on the ESPN app. One app, one tap. Kitley has been struggling from the field here tonight, but she will walk away with a double-double. 12 points and 13 rebounds on the night to this point.
If I'm other teams in the ACC, I'm definitely looking at this film of how to contain Elizabeth Kitley, and as a team defense, like Coach Banghart hit the nail on the head when she said it wasn't going to be a one-on-one game. They were going to have to do it with their total team defense, and they've been a big successful thus far.
I would say holding Virginia Tech to 26% from the field, while also getting things done on their offensive end and stepping up in a great way. A rare transition point, and that's completely missed by Shepherd, but hold tight because she's coming up a little gimpy. She's on the baseline.
She was going full speed. I didn't really get a chance to see what happened, if it was on the takeoff or landing, or if any contact really occurred, but hoping that she comes up without a limp or that she's okay.
She's
Right
holding
now,
at
holding
that left leg.
Yeah, that upper calf or knee area. Hoping that she's able to walk this off. Is always a good sign when you see a player being able to walk by herself off the court or continue playing.
And hopefully we'll get an update, but that's something your Coach Brooks you don't want to see from Sheppard. It's an awkward landing on that left leg.
I couldn't really see and get a good read on what could have possibly happened there. Just hopefully she's back in the locker room and she prayers up for her.
Sheppard, if she does stay out, with 2 points, 1 for 7 from the field, 0 for 5 from distance, so she's struggled on the night, and that's been one of the primary players for Virginia Tech. She's on the Wade Trophy list as well. It's Coach Brooks' first signee. Took the leap of faith to sign with him and loved what he was building at Virginia Tech. They continue to gain respect in this league, but wishing for the very best for Sheppard. Another turnover for Brooks. Transition again for UNC, and once again, Hodgson for the bucket.
She's been a definite boost for North Carolina, playing both ends of the floor, getting tips on balls, getting deflections, and being able to get out of transition, get easy layups or score for threes. That is the easiest look that Elizabeth Kitley has gotten all night, and it comes in the fourth quarter with a little over 7 minutes left. Definitely would have loved to see a little bit more of those.
So it's very interesting on what the difference was in that move too, as there's going to be probably another turnover here at the top of the key for Carolina. Carolina has not done too bad in the turnover department, but I'm pretty sure Coach Banghart would like to see it cleaned up a bit in the second half. 13 turnovers for Carolina to this point. But it's very interesting. We talked about even at halftime what the difference has been. We talked about the three-point shooting from North Carolina as they continue to be very successful from that department, shooting 46%, but also to the turnovers, the points off of turnovers. So they've given up 20 points off of 18 turnovers for the Hokies, and you can see the frustration even on the sidelines from Coach Brooks.
If you take away at least half of those and you shore up some areas on the other ends, you have a different ball game. You're at least within, 10 to 15 points in this ball game.
So Espy picks up the foul. We're about a minute away from the halfway point here in the fourth quarter. Lytle left alone, trying to see if she can get things going. She struggled from the floor as well. 0 for 6 from the field, 3 points, all coming from the free throw line. And that'll be another turnover. So for Kayana Traylor, she's been another player that's been someone that can step up. The transfer from Purdue, played 3 years there. Her mom, Danielle, actually played at LSU. Her aunt, April, actually played at FSU. So a family full of ballers.
You just had to get that in about FSU or
can you blame me?
What was the not one bit, not one bit.
Because that one rolls out of bounds. You can see how Coach Banghart continues to challenge her team, even on the sidelines, talking about the movement. Open look for Espy. She just can't get that one to fall. And while Virginia Tech is taking care of business to this point, it doesn't get any easier for them in the next few games that they have. So they wanted to make sure they did things the right way here at home. The cleanup crew. Usby finishes for Deja Kelly's miss. And a travel call. That's 19 turnovers for the Hokies.
That's been the biggest breaking point for Virginia Tech in this ball game. Haven't been able to get some shots on goal. 33 points here, and if you were coming to this game and said that Virginia Tech would have 33 points with 5 minutes left in this fourth quarter, you would be like, I don't think so, Chelsea.
So Deja Kelly for another 3. She has 3 on the night. And guess what? She also has her first double-double with 13 and 10. So we already mentioned how Deja Kelly has been just shooting lights out. She had an amazing game-winning shot against Boston College earlier in ACC play. And Deja Kelly just continues to light it up.
Great sign for the Tar Heels, able to execute down the stretch. 5 minutes to go.
Well, let's talk about the games around the league. We'll start with Wake Forest and Florida State. Florida State taking care of business at the Donald Tucker Center, 87-46. Boston College at Clemson. They walk away with the 80-74 win. NC State, 5 straight games for them. That was a tough one. Miami had a really good showing against them, 76-64. And Duke at Syracuse, 74-65 final. And Georgia Tech, I would say handled business, but that would probably be an understatement. One of the best defenses you'll find in the league. There have been a lot of different players that have been able to step up around the league. And of course, you're looking at 6 teams in the ACC in the top 25, Chelsea. Any players that have stood out to you that have kind of kept this thing wide open as far as how teams can finish? Of course, NC State sitting at the top. Louisville and Westmore and his crew.
Yeah, I definitely would say one thing about Georgia Tech is Kubai has been their kind of glue player. She's been offensively intact, and then rebounding wise, and then defensive, getting deflections. She's a heart of their defense, but also Emily Angsler for Louisville. She's been able to get it done on both ends. She really helps Louisville offensively, setting screens, diving to the bucket hard, able to stretch the defense, and then defensively being able to get in the passing lanes.
How about Angsler with the game-winning shot against Georgia Tech? That was one of the best games I've seen in a while in the ACC. And just going back to how things have just been so fluid, trying to battle through COVID protocols. You can see Kitley on the sideline having a little chat with Coach Brooks. But just being so fluid throughout this season. Initially, the games between Louisville and Miami and NC State and Notre Dame were actually postponed. So Louisville and Notre Dame right now adhering to the protocols. And that's how we got the NC State versus Miami game. You may not know who you're going to have to play against until probably 2-3 days out. So that's what we're getting. And I would say the league has done a great job with finding ways to prevent forfeits and actually rescheduling games as well.
Yeah, and you love that. You know, these kids don't want to forfeit in some of the things that are out of their control, giving them the chance to be able to play again and have an opportunity to play against an opponent that they have scheduled.
And once again, another turnover for the Hokies. That one's going to go against Greg. And it's just been a really tough night offensively for Virginia Tech, who everyone around the league understands that they have, if not one of the best post player in league play, and Elizabeth Kitley. And we saw her having a conversation with Coach Brooks on the side. She will more than likely finish the night with 14 points and 17 rebounds. And while she does walk away with a double-double, Chelsea, it was a tough one to get against Carolina's defense that made everything earn.
Yeah, she had to work for it, every single thing. Some of those buckets that came on putbacks because she wasn't able to get a solid post up pretty much all night. I think one of the easiest ones she got was the high-low late in the third quarter. And so those are the different looks she's going to see during this ACC play. So Coach Brooks definitely going to help her along that way and go to the drawing board and see how they can attack defenses that line up their defense to be able to stop her or at least contain her throughout the game.
I remember you in the studio talking about what Carolina needed to do differently against NC State. You said, just relax, slow down, and play your game. You already mentioned what their identity needs to be to finish the season. But did they take a step in the right direction as far as understanding how they need to play?
Yeah, they definitely did. I think they stayed with the game plan, understanding who Virginia Tech's go-to player was and made other people do something differently. And then offensively, they just played with pace and been able to kick outside for shooters, let the game come to them. They weren't rushing too many things. I think part of that was because Virginia Tech's defense isn't helter-skelter and picking up full court all the time, but definitely a step in the right direction in which you're playing off of each other and seeing those threes knocked down. You know, it's fun to play that way, and so to be able to carry that out after a tough loss is important. Definitely a good sign for the squad.
Well, let's look at UNC's upcoming schedule. I'll tell you what, it's not an easy one. Coach Banghart told us 5 of her next 7 games are against ranked opponents. You're looking at this schedule right now. The next one is going to go against Notre Dame. They do have the bye week, so they get some time off, and their next game is on the 16th, but it's a tough slate in the next few.
Yeah, definitely an important run here for UNC to catch some of those games. A lot of those, 3 out of the 5 of those are on the road. To be able to capture some wins on the road will be key for their ACC rankings here.
You never know what you're going to get each night. We open women's basketball play with so many different upsets, so many different teams saying, how did this team beat the other? But it's just because the parity in this league, in this game, you just got to show up every single night. Coach Banghart, I remember her speaking after even the Boston College game, and statistically you would think that they would drop that one early. But Deja Kelly was a hero at the end of that one, and they got the win. But she said, we know how tough it is to win in this league, so we have to bring it every night.
One thing I will say, Coach Banghart might be looking at this stat sheet. UNC shooting 56% from the free throw line. And those are free. That's 10 points that they're missing out on with this already big lead.
Chelsea, you did say they're free, so you got to step up and take them.
Step up and take them free points to add to your total score there.
As we're under the 1 minute mark to close this one out. The last lead that Virginia Tech had was actually in that first quarter, 4-2, and from then on, UNC, it's been all of them. Largest lead, 32 points. Shooting very well from the three-point line. At one point, they were shooting over 50%. They've since cooled down, had a couple of the reserves out as well, shooting 40% from the field. So we have stoppage of play. She said, don't touch me. So we're hoping that Destiny Adams can help herself off the floor.
And never love to see a player staying down there on the floor and waiting for help up. So hopefully she's okay and it's just hurting her for a moment in time.
So we already saw Shepard for Virginia Tech exit the game. She had to be helped into the back, and now we see Adams. The freshman out of Woodin, New Jersey, having a step away. as Deja Kelly is at the free throw line, and Chelsea Gray, you'll be pleased that she knocks the first one down.
Love to see it. Love to see it, Angel.
We'll send a note. 2 for 2 for Deja Kelly. She's had another career night, walking away with a double-double. She was on fire straight from the start. 15 points, 10 rebounds for Deja Kelly. And she's 4 for 4 from the free throw line, so she's had quite the night. So with this win, as we're assuming UNC will dribble it out at the top of the key, you can see Hodgson and Kelly giving each other a high five at the top of the key. They were a big piece of the success for Carolina tonight. Hodgson finishing with 19 points and 3 rebounds. Huge three-point shooting from her, 4 for 5.
Yeah, Virginia Tech really struggled to find a rhythm with turnovers being their Achilles heel. UNC was able to execute their game plan and really contain Kitley and force her to make tough decisions in traffic. And UNC really clicking on all cylinders, both inside and out. So that's a good sign heading into this week for Carolina.
Absolutely. Well, Carolina moves to 14-1, 4-1 in ACC play, and they're back to their winning ways. 4 players finished with double figures, and they get the win. For Chelsea Gray and our entire crew, I'm Angel Gray saying so long from Carmichael Arena, where the final score is 71-46. Carolina walking away with the win.